This Polish Jew was trying to escape the pursuing German soldiers. He hid in an abandoned hospital where there was nothing but leftover scraps and foul water, but it was enough to keep him safe until the war ended. The next day, though, German soldiers set fire to his shelter. He scared and ran out of there immediately. As he climbed over the hospital wall, he saw the devastated city before him. The apocalyptic scene left him in shock. To avoid being spotted by German troops, he ducked into a house that had been torn apart by shells. He began wandering through the house looking for food. Luckily, he found some canned goods on a shelf, but just as he was about to open one, the can suddenly slipped from his hands. At that moment, a German officer was standing right in front of him. The man was so frightened that he stood there trembling. Strangely enough, the officer just asked him what he was doing and where he came from. Even more puzzling, after learning the man was a pianist, the officer led him to a piano in the room and told him to play something. To save his life, he started playing for the officer. He played faster and faster, as if denouncing the inhumanity of the German army. When he finished, the officer couldn't hide his astonishment. His brilliant performance had moved him. Afterward, he took the man up to the attic, told him to hide and stay put, then hurried away. He didn't kill him. Instead, he decided to let him live. The next day, the officer brought him some food. He also brought news. The Red Army had reached the border. The war was about to end. So the officer said, "Stay in this building for a few weeks and everything will be fine." After all these days, the man finally had a decent meal. He was genuinely grateful to the officer. He made a silent vow never to forget this officer's kindness. As Soviet forces drove the German army out of Poland, the officer found him for the last time, left some food and a warm coat. The man was stunned. How could he ever repay this kindness? But the officer just said, "Thank God, not me," and left. A few days later, the man saw a car pass by flying the Polish flag and playing the Polish national anthem. He understood that the country was free. Excited, he ran into the street wanting to share this joy with others. But the military coat he was wearing caused a misunderstanding. Polish soldiers rushed forward to grab him. The man immediately shouted, "I'm Polish." He raised his hands and slowly walked out of the house, explaining he was wearing the coat to keep warm. Finally, the soldiers believed him. A few days later, German soldiers were captured and held in a POW camp. There, a Jewish soldier saw these men and started cursing them angrily. At that moment, the officer who had once saved the pianist walked over and asked the Jewish soldier, "Do you know the pianist Spielmann?" It turned out this man was the pianist's friend. So the officer gave his name and said, "Please get word to him. Try to get me out of this POW camp." When Spielmann heard this news, he immediately went to the camp. But by then, all the prisoners had been transferred to another location. No one knew where that camp was. In the end, Spielmann resumed his performing career in Warsaw, while the German officer died in the POW camp.